No portion of Oklahoma City is free from crime, but no section of the community is hurt by it more than on the northeast side. Black on black crime. 90% of the crimes committed against black people are committed by blacks. They steal from each other and do worse. Oklahoma City is not alone. It's happening elsewhere. And like other cities, blacks here are pledged to change all of that.
There is no reason that the crimes which occur within this quadrant should occur.
The Urban League has been planning this effort for more than a year. They're taking their campaign to the schools, trying to educate students about drugs and alcohol, to neighborhood leaders who know their people. Retired Assistant Police Chief Gerald Emmett says they have the complete backing of the police department to help achieve their goals.
We're trying to bring back a pride which seems to have fallen along the wayside someplace. Because the power within a community is the community itself. There are a lot of things out there that the police department can handle, but they cannot be effective unless they have the cooperation of the citizens.
Leaders say it will kick off with No Crime Sunday, October 20th. Ministers will be encouraged to sermonize against crime. A parade begins at 3:30 that afternoon at Douglas High School. It will wind through northeast Oklahoma City.
No.
The parade will end up here at Tabernacle Baptist Church for music, fellowship, and leaders hope a beginning to involve the community in controlling the community. George Tomick, News 4 at Northeast 36th and Eastern in northeast Oklahoma City.
Consider the fact that, and now that it seems as if every avenue was looked at. Our physician, Dr. Ramgopal, the infection control officer for Baptist, investigated with the state health department. Both cleared that there was no chance for infection to be spread through the role of a pharmacist in the hospital.
We still do have a couple openings left, especially in our cocktail waitress category and some other jobs in similar food and beverage capacities. We expect that there will be some openings develop as we ask everybody's arrival for their first day of employment tomorrow. That human nature dictates that we will have some no-shows.
Morgan horse is a pretty versatile horse that everybody enjoys watching. We have antique carriages. People ride in period costumes in some of them. We have a little hunt, little jump, Western, English, a little bit of everything.
Things that are wrong, and these recommendations are pointed in that effect. We have many of the laws already on the books, but provisions for enforcement might have been lacking, and certainly actual enforcement has been lacking, so enforcement is an important part of it.
The body believed to be that of Linda Thompson was found in a remote, heavily wooded area at Sportsman's Lake east of Seminole. It took 7 hours of searching and several calls to California to finally find the badly decomposed body. The 2 suspects in the case allegedly helped police find the remains. The 29-year-old Thompson has been missing since August, when she was abducted from an Oklahoma City shopping mall. The 2 suspects in the case, 28-year-old Dale Shelton and 25-year-old Don Wilson Hawkins, were arrested in California Monday. Oklahoma City detectives began their search after interviewing the pair about the crime. But even with help, finding the body was difficult in the rough terrain around the lake.
The body was actually found about 10 minutes to 5. It was in the general area until we had to confirm some other information and to make sure that we were working in the right area.
Checking back and forth with California?
Yeah, California and the Oklahoma City Police Department in the city.
The remains were brought out at dusk. They will be taken to the state medical examiner's office, and an autopsy will be performed tomorrow morning. But the body is badly decomposed, and officials say an anthropologist will be called in to help with identifying the body and finding the cause of death. If it does turn out to be Thompson, it is also still to be determined who will prosecute the case. Oklahoma County authorities where she was kidnapped, or Seminole County where her body was found. Jeff Fowler, News 4, near Seminole, Oklahoma.
Speed, quickness, aggressive, chase the ball.
Speed and aggressiveness are Oklahoma trademarks, Barry, but like last year, sometimes no match for Mother Nature. But the kind of adrenaline this annual battle produces in the fans and players is something you just can't buy on the street. Come rain or shine, nothing is going to keep this stadium from being packed and our boys from coming down that ramp tomorrow. Past Oklahoma-Texas brush wars are usually fought in intense heat, with temperatures on the field exceeding 100 degrees. Now, this accounts for a lot of dehydration for the players, but the fans are usually well hydrated by game time. Only twice in the last 40 years has the weather even been a factor, but both times a washout. Last year's game weather took away a lot of OU's speed and reduced the game to a skating, sliding, fumbling contest on old, worn-out, flooded AstroTurf. And even the refs seem affected. They must have got the rain in their eyes. Of Texas.
City crews were hard at work this morning, vacuuming up water from last night's downpour. Occupants say these city offices flood every time it rains. Maintenance workers believe the pesky water is coming from a leaky sewer pipe which runs next to the building. Rather than dig up the suspicious sewer, city workers decided to photograph it. Oklahoma City has a special video camera to do its dirty work.
Now you got it.
The subterranean snooper gives observers an inside view of the city's sewers.
Just looking for cracks in the line, bad spots, leaks and stuff like that right now. Say we got a trouble area, we go out and take, picture of it, see what the trouble is, what might be caused. It could be roots or partially collapsed lines, something like that.
Yeah, I think the gear's busted out of it.
Unlike their television counterparts, these video detectives don't always get their man. Today, their TV camera got snagged in the sewer. Despite the occasional problems, city workers say this sewer snooper is one TV show which they hope will never get canceled. Scott Wallace, News 4, downtown Oklahoma City.
Bottom line is, we will get them back. It can take a long time, it can be a short time, but we will have the two individuals back, and they will eventually, apparently, go to trial in Oklahoma.
Have you seen our show yet? Are you going to see it tonight?
Less than 30 minutes before showtime, Micky Rooney is making a friend backstage. He is show business history, yet never too busy or too big to plant a kiss and win a new fan. Some stars know they're stars. In Micky's case, he doesn't. But his fans sure do. Sugar Babies has played to thunderous applause for 7 years, a huge, almost unparalleled success on Broadway. Micky Rooney makes Sugar Babies, and he's grown quite fond of the applause.
These people have known Ann and myself for many, many years, and there was a lot of nostalgia that they were looking at on the stage. They were thanking us for the years of entertainment that both Ann and myself had given them.
And as a true entertainer, Micky Rooney has some strong feelings about performing. After all, the show must go on.
If I'm feeling not at the top of my act, people will ask me, how do you feel tonight? I'll say, I feel great. I feel wonderful.
And wonderful is the perfect word to describe Sugar Babies and its legendary star. Dan Slocum, News 4.
Noble Arena seats approximately 13,500 people.
Given that it's not a benefit concert.
A few months ago, some of the contacts from Baptist Medical Center made contact with the Sinatra people, told him about the Heart Center and some of the successes that it has had. He in turn began talking with us about his needs, our needs, and then on October 14th we were able to sign a contract.
We would also point out that in the judgment of the court, there's no finding in that regard. I will say that what we thought was a day school was a daycare center. Our primary defense in this case was that the day school is a day school, a nursery school whose purpose is primarily educational. And of course, the Licensing Act exempts or does not cover nursery schools or facilities of that type.
Silence is great. We got a bottleneck going here because Red Cross has got them tied up downtown. Well, basically, amateur radio communications are most useful when normal lines of communications are out. You have power outages or natural disasters that knock the normal communication channels out or overload them, then the amateur radio operators are available to use their equipment, which they got set up with portable power and so forth to operate under emergency.
Early this morning, sermons began ringing out in churches across northeast Oklahoma City. The message, black on black crime is a problem that must be solved.
And for blacks to rob blacks, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the black race.
Black leaders say the crime problem is hurting the entire black community. In order to stress the point, they've taken their message to the streets. School bands, churches, and youth groups held a parade today to show their support for No Crime Sunday. Statistics show 90% of crimes committed against blacks are committed by blacks. The leading cause of death for black American teenagers is murder. Those facts have parents here calling for an end to the senseless violence.
I think it's a very big start to start talking about crime. Let it come out and be more public. Speak out against crime. It's very bad for our young children.
Crime is a sin in the eyesight of Almighty God.
The message about black on black crime will continue after today. It's expected to intensify over the next few months as the black community works to end the problem. Peter Mays, News 4.
Not the senior citizen black.
So you got plenty of cargo space. Spare tire. Your back seat. All right.
We have seen a slight decrease in direct car loans with our customer base, and we feel like probably it is due to the fact that there is a lower rate offered out there, and it is convenient for the customers to actually finance the car when they purchase it from the dealer.
The empty school bus was on its way to Oklahoma City's Northeast High School when it rammed a car containing a woman and an infant. The bus driver told police he was turning left when the car appeared in front of him. 13-year bus veteran William Holland declined treatment for an injured arm.
I'm not hurt that bad.
We thought you wanted to go back.
No.
Well, then let's go ahead and just set you back down somewhere safe.
The car's driver and an infant were taken to Presbyterian Hospital for medical care.
I just came out and seen blood everywhere from all the girl's face and down her arm and down her leg. And the bus driver, he was just sitting down, in that little deal over there, in this little door.
All of the victims were treated for minor injuries. Investigators say it was fortunate the accident didn't happen 2 hours later when the bus would have been loaded with high school students. Scott Wallace, News 4, Northeast Oklahoma City.
Can we have
Well, lots more closet space, lots more garage space, and at the same time accomplish what we set out to accomplish.
If you have coverage now, group insurance or individual coverage, this would pick up all the deductibles, plus pay cash in addition for in or out of the hospital treatment for AIDS. If a person has no coverage, then we have first dollar coverage. The cost for our plan is $291 a year, and the benefit that would be paid out is approximately $74,000 per year.
Well, the kids have just left after a full day of school, but many, a growing number in fact, are going home to an empty home.
For a time they'll be alone, maybe for minutes, perhaps hours, until their parents come home from work. These children are called Latch Key Kids.
The 3:30 bell at Hilldale Elementary School. Some heading home now where Mom will have milk and cookies waiting. But the joy and laughter in the halls can turn to a lonely moment of silence for some latchkey kids. 10-year-old Scott waiting in his homeroom, doing homework or drawing, waiting for the bus to take him and his sister Tricia home. When Scott and Tricia's mother, Gail, made her agonizing decision to leave the children unattended until she got home, there were certain rules that the children had to follow.
Well, when we come in, we have to call her first and tell her we're home, and then, you know, ask her if we want to go outside or something, and then we can do whatever we want, you know, if we ask her.
And of course, Gail warned the children about strangers.
She always tells us not to let anybody in the house, and that's one reason we use the back door, is so people can't see us and where we put the key, and when we get home and where we go in, where the key is.
Gail's job is only a few miles from home, and her children are alone for only a few minutes each day, but she says the worries are still there.
Oh, I worried about in the morning, would they lock the door every day? Would someone get into the house? I wondered if they'd let the dogs out of the yard. I wondered when they get home at night, will they be able to open the door? When they open the door, will there be somebody in the house? Oh, I worry constantly. But like I said, you learn to get used to it. When they were going to babysitters, they had nothing to do with the house. Now it's like the three of us run the house. It's, funny to say that because there's so much age difference, but we all do share it. And they come home and they only don't have chores that they do or jobs, but we share it. I don't know, it makes a difference though.
While the latchkey arrangement is working well for Gail and her children, it wasn't always so for Cindy Moore and son Scott.
Oh, I was bored and I just didn't have anything to do, and I had a cotton plant in my room, and I just was playing with matches, and I wanted to see what it'd do if I lit it, and it just went up in flames.
Yeah. Did it hurt the house any?
Yeah, it burned up my room.
Parents like Cindy Moore, who often finds it necessary to leave her children at home, but living with the fear that something could happen to them, an accident, a fire.
But what are the alternatives? As a matter of fact, there aren't many. But things are gradually changing. This is Operation Prime Time, an after-school program for kids sponsored by the YMCA. The advantage is if the program is conducted in the child's own school, so they don't have to be transported to another location. The cost, $15 a week.
Many of our children would be going home as latchkey children to empty homes, and if there were emergencies and things, probably the proper care wouldn't be there. So it is very helpful for a lot of children.
I know what that lawnmower does.
This is another after-school program conducted at a local pizza place. In this program, the kids are picked up by cab from their school and transported to the restaurant to stay until their parents get off work. Cost, $25 a week. State officials say parents should check out all aspects of any program before enrolling their children.
by law, they don't have to be licensed by the state. So many of these facilities operate without a fire inspection or a health inspection or proper staffing. They may not have any snacks, and that might not be very important for some people, but for a growing 8-year-old boy, it could be critical. So there's a lot of different things they need to be looking for, and the state doesn't offer that protection to these programs.
It's a real dilemma for any working parent leaving their children at home while they're at work. A matter of economics weighed against the safety of their children.
But the fact of the matter is, as the economy continues to worsen in Oklahoma, the number of Latch Key Kids will continue to rise. I'm Linda Cavanaugh.
And I'm Jerry Adams.
The rising September sun sheds little light on the commitment that must follow. The John Marshall Marching Band is up before dawn 5 days a week, perfecting skills few of us ever master. They must be musicians, and they must march.
1, 2, 3!
All of the kids tend to agree, though, it's a lot of fun.
When you stay up late with homework, it's kind of hard, but you make it worth it. I mean, it's fun. You can get a lot out of it musically. It's just a great program.
Even if their musical ability and marching technique need a little polish.
I don't want straight lines on this opener. Same thing over here.
Band director Ralph Weiser puts the squad through its paces preparing for the upcoming home football opener. But his biggest worry is the citywide band competition. That's the real test.
Except we have a ruptured curve here. Why do we have an inverted curve, people? What is this? You're curving out this direction instead of this direction.
The first hurdle is behind them now. A successful performance at the first football game puts the band in high spirits for the citywide contest. But traditional powers like Northeast and Millwood love to put on a show. It's going to be tough. For the John Marshall Marching Band, it's a night to shine. Months of preparation and a good exhibition of their marching and musical skills net a third-place trophy, a prize to remember. George Tomic, News 4.
That's the selling point, is the fact that we are having fun. We're making it kind of so visible. People think we're a little absurd, and we are a little absurd. I mean, you have to be a little absurd to get people's attention at times, and we're approaching this with a sense of humor.